Welcome to Third Shot Podcast. We've got Uncle Greg and I ready to go. But before we dive into it, please head on over to our social media. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Third Shot Podcast. You can also find us on X at Third Shot Pod. Or if you'd rather watch us, you could head on over to YouTube and search Third Shot Podcast and you can view our episode. We've also got our website, thirdshotpodcast.com, where you can listen to all of our previous episodes, read some blog posts, and find some very special Third Shot apparel.
Hey, Brigie, how's it going?
It's going well.
Good.
Excited for this episode and excited to do another toast with you.
Let's do this. Third
Cheers.
shot. Cheers. The last time we spoke, you were doing a little staycation after the honeymoon. How was it?
Oh, it was so nice. We stayed at Red Rock Casino over on the west side of town, so it's a little bit off the beaten path of the typical strip, but did some dinner, played some slots. You can't go and not play, right?
How did that go? Were you lucky?
I was both lucky and unlucky.
Oh no.
I hit a few bonuses, which are really fun and kind of helps prolong me from ending. But then I use that money and I just go back and I'm like, oh, let's try to win some more. And it didn't work out in my favor this time.
Oh, well, I have seen you win, so
It happens.
it happens. It seems like when I go play slots with you, you do well.
Yeah, we call it the Louis Luck because whenever you and Auntie are in town and we go, and I somehow managed to end up winning. So I think you need to come back more often and go gambling with me.
Well, I don't want to be the third wheel on a staycation, but I will join you for some gambling.
We'll do our own staycation.
Yeah.
It'll be a group staycation.
Okay, sounds good. It'll be a third shot staycation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the one thing I love about Vegas is like you just see people from all over. Like, whether it's at Red Rock or whether you're on the Strip, obviously on the Strip you see a lot more, but you see people from all over the world.
We do. Yeah, it's a highly visited spot, I think, for international tourists. But with the way that our world is going right now, I did hear sadly that tourism in the States is anticipated to be on the decline. But hopefully that doesn't impact our city too much because we do rely on the tourism. I think that's our biggest source of our economy. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Vegas is just too amazing for people to stay away from long. I think it's just a momentary pause.
Yeah, I think so too. And I find it so fun when we're out there and we run into people from all over the world and you kind of get to have those side conversations and find out why they're in town. And a lot of people, they get to come for extended amounts of time, like weeks even.
Well, I remember when we played the PPA event then in Vegas, we saw people from different countries. And then in the Shamrock Open, I played against somebody that was from Canada, right? So we're seeing a lot of people from all over the world visiting Las Vegas, just playing pickleball in general.
Yeah, I think that on a worldwide scale, pickleball is starting to take off. I don't know what the rate is here in the States. It was increasing by so fast. Just you couldn't even keep up with how fast people were starting to play the game. But I'm just hoping that it's taking off like that in other countries too.
I don't think it is quite as much, right? I think it is definitely growing worldwide. And I think a lot of it has to do with, on the tour, on the pro tour right now, there's a lot of really, really good players that are from different countries, like Federico Staxrud. He's one of the top he's one of the top men player just in general, but he's really, really good at singles. He's from Argentina. At that Major League Pickleball event that I got to do the broadcasting for, I got to Irina Terashenko. She's from Russia. Super nice lady. Oh my gosh, I love Irina. She was so nice to me and, chatted me up. And yeah, so that was cool. We got Quan Duong. He's from, he's from, where is he from? He is from
Was it Thailand?
Vietnam. He's from
Vietnam. Yeah.
Vietnam, and he's making a name for himself, and he's getting, appearance fees up in Vietnam right now that are, astronomical amounts. He's getting sponsorships from, foreign paddle companies. So I think it's really building up because of the pro game. Okay, here's an interesting one. I think it's going faster than the NBA. And here's an interesting stat that I just found out about the NBA. Take a guess of when the last MVP for the NBA was actually born in America. Like, what year did that person win the MVP for the NBA? You would think, right? The NBA is American, right? That's a
Yeah.
American game. When do you think the last player to win the MVP was actually American born?
Ooh. I'm going to say 2007.
Well, actually a little more recent than that, but
Oh,
2018, it was James Harden was the last NBA player to actually, American-born NBA player to actually win the MVP, which blew me away 7 years ago.
right.
Since
That
that
is quite a
time,
long time
it's
ago.
been people born in Croatia or just different countries, not America. And, the NBA has been around for a long, long, long time. I think that pickleball's foreign impact is going to have a quicker influx of foreign players that make it to the top quicker than the
Mm.
NBA did.
Do you think that these players are going to stay and represent their home countries, or do you think that because USA is such a hot spot for pickleball that they would want to come and play here?
I think they're going to want to play here. I think just because this is where the money is at, right? When we did our episode with Dreambreaker, and that whole movie was around the whole pro pickleball scene. I just made a new word, prickle.
Prickle.
Um, the prickle.com tour. No, it's the pro pickleball scene is, it's in America, but they are trying to bring it overseas as well, right? I know they have some different stops in European countries, and I think in Asian country as well is coming up. So they're trying to make it more international, but the money's still here in America, and I think it will be that way. But when the announcement is going to be made, eventually the announcement is going to be made that pickleball is going to be in the Olympics. And when it is in the Olympics, it's going to be on foreign soil because it's not in the Olympics here in Los Angeles. It's going to be somewhere else. When
Right.
that announcement is made, all the countries are going to be developing their pickleball, programs so that they have players to represent their country and be competitive.
Right. Yeah. What top 3 countries do you think would make it to the finals in, like, let's envision the Olympics years from now? What top 3 teams are you calling?
Oh, that's a really good question. So it's probably not going to be a player that we know of today, because by the time the Olympics has it, it might be another, what, 10, 12 years from now, right?
Yeah.
So, well, let me answer it this way. I think you're going to see tremendous pickleball growth in India. I
Okay.
think you're going to see tremendous pickleball growth in Asian countries because they're already so good at badminton, table tennis, right? Ping pong,
Right.
those sports. They're already one of the top tennis players in the female tennis game. She's from China. So I think one of the Asian countries is going to really put their money behind a pickleball program. China would be my guess just because they're the biggest. Um, so India, China, and if I had to pick a European country, I'm gonna go off the board. I'm gonna go with France.
France. I mean, they do play a lot of tennis in France,
They do.
and
The
those
French
are pretty
Open, right? One of the
transferable
majors.
skills. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with France.
All right. Well, we will
Oh,
have to
actually, I got a fourth.
pin these. Oh, fourth one. What is it?
Australia.
Okay. Hopefully they're better than they are at breakdancing.
Yo, Ray Gun. Ray Gun ruined it for everybody.
That'll forever be in our memories.
Always, always. What do you think? What do you think about the whole worldwide growth of pickleball?
I love to see it, and I'm super excited to see kind of where it ends up in like the 5 to 10 year range. Just because we saw so much growth in over, the past 5 years. I think since COVID, that was really when we saw the biggest impact of the game. But similarly, I was kind of thinking the same of like, there's got to be an Asian country that makes it in the Olympics pretty far. I'll just say Japan because those are my people I've got to represent. Similar train of thought of they play badminton, they play table tennis, and so those are really transferable.
Mm-hmm.
India, I don't know if I thought India, but that does make a lot of sense as well. And there's a lot of there, they have such a high population there that someone there's got to be great at pickleball.
Yeah, and they play a lot of badminton. Like in India, badminton is super popular, right?
Yeah, that's true. And they also, I mean, like niche sports like cricket and what's the other sport that they like those types of sports.
Okay.
I think that they would be good at it, but they didn't make my top list. I would say, like a South American country.
Okay.
I'll go with
Brazil.
Brazil. Yep. How did you know?
Yeah, I was thinking Brazil as well. That's a
And
good
then
one.
my European country, I think, is going to be England, just because I feel like they've started to establish pickleball a little bit more there, so they might have a little bit more history with it.
Okay. Right. I mean, Wimbledon in tennis is in England, so you would think that makes sense.
Putting in our bets now.
All right. It is it is cemented now that it's being recorded. So we can go back 10 years from now and we will see, or well, when the Olympics happens, that pickleball is
Yes.
there, we will see what teams are represented.
Can't wait.
That'll be fun. And it's cool that we're talking worldwide pickleball because our guest today is Adam Bricker. He's the director of marketing for the upcoming World Pickleball Conference coming up in Florida on June 27th and 28th. So we have Adam joining us tonight. And while we bring Adam on, gives everybody that opportunity to go and like us and share your favorite episode. That's the cool thing. We never asked anybody to share their favorite episode with a friend that might be a pickleball player as well. Go to the pickleball platform or the podcast platforms that we have our show on, whether it's Spotify or Apple or YouTube, and share a video or share audio. That would be a lot of fun, and we'd love to see that. And please give us your comments. Go on to our website, shoot us an email, go to our social media, and give us a message. We love hearing from all the listeners out there. So thank you for doing that. And let's bring on Adam. Hey, Adam, welcome to Third Shot Podcast.
What an honor to be here with you and Brigie.
So good to have you join us, and we are excited to hear more about the conference. But before we get into it, we're going to do a little toast to you, Adam, and the World Pickleball Conference coming up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
What's in that big old M&M mug?
I love your show already.
Taking that first shot kind of loosens everything up, right? You're ready to roll.
Absolutely. I'm ready.
All right. Well, first question. Share with us a little bit about your background and tell us how you got started in the world of pickleball.
Yeah, absolutely. My background is radio and television broadcasting, do a lot of sports. Along with Carl Foster, I ran the first ever fantasy football television show. And
Wow.
yeah. And then later in my career, I was unfortunately injured. And working my way back, I decided I would get on the tennis court to get my body moving again and just, get everything limber, and hopped on a tennis court that it didn't seem right. It just was not big enough. And sure enough, as we were leaving, the people who were coming in afterwards said, that's interesting to bring a tennis racket on a pickleball court. And they told us all about pickleball. We hit Amazon that night. We had paddles the next day, and we were back. And we've been hooked ever since.
What year was that?
That was 2021, and
Okay.
I was in Canada, and yeah, just trying to come back from an injury, and it was one of the best rehabs ever. We figured that we didn't know the game, so we play and then watch YouTube, and everybody was playing doubles,
Right.
but we didn't know anybody. It was in the middle of COVID. So, and I know COVID was done down here a lot, but we were locked in up there, and we found a place, and everybody who was playing pickleball there was 20 years older than me. So we thought we were good right away, and we went and joined a local pickleball club, and we found out, yeah, we weren't that good.
It's funny how reality sets in when you play against somebody that has some experience playing in the game. It's like, you get some young players, super athletic, and all of a sudden they play against somebody that has some experience, knows how to play the angles, knows how to dink, right? Knows, the game, and they just get humbled. And it takes a little while for them to catch up.
It was rough because I'm playing with Mildred and Beatrice and I'm hitting the ball and they're just like ka-ding, and I'm running over here and they're like, ka-ding, I'm running over here. And yeah, the angles, they just knew how to play the game. And it was a glorious moment when I went to go see them a few months ago and just schooled everybody who it was, yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Retribution. You
Yeah.
got
Well,
it.
it felt good. Now, of course, they were now deep in their 70s, and I didn't care.
You let them have it.
Yeah, it was nice. It was, all the gratitude in the world for them for humbling me and teaching me, that it is a sport. It is an opportunity to showcase athleticism, but also strategy, which has always been my favorite part of sports.
Yeah, that's great to hear. And we kind of had a similar story too. I'm curious if you can just give us a little inside scoop on your thoughts on the community behind pickleball, going into it with someone who, like, you didn't really have a singles or a doubles partner to go with. Like, what were your thoughts after meeting everybody?
Oh my goodness, what a welcoming community. And so far this year, it still remains. I've played in 11 states so far this year. And I just show up. I don't announce who I am. They don't know who I am. I'm just this guy now until last week with big long shaggy beard. I had to clean up for the convention. This long bearded guy comes in, sticks his paddle in the rack. Nobody knows who I am. So welcoming. And it doesn't matter. Santa Fe, New Mexico, Phoenix, Arizona, Kansas City, Missouri. Everybody is just so nice and welcoming in the pickleball community.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the game, and I think that's why it's grown so fast. Is because of that environment that everybody falls in love with. Earlier, you mentioned that you did a fantasy football television show with Carl. Tell everybody who Carl is and what his involvement is with the conference.
I'll give a shout out to Carl Foster. Carl is the man when it comes to the business of pickleball. He hosts one of the most famous pickleball events, the International Boca Masters Tournament in Boca Raton, Florida. He was the owner of the Boca Raton Picklers, which won the national championship for the National Pickleball League last year. And what a great person and a wonderful businessman. When I got out of COVID, when I got out of Canada and I showed up in America, The first place I went was the National Pickleball Expo, and Carl was running it. And I hadn't seen him for 8 or 9 years. And we reminisced, and he was so happy to see me, introduced me to everybody. And we just grew together since then. Carl is into leadership and teaching people, especially executives, CEOs, presidents, how to integrate into pickleball. And that's what the conference is all about. This is his baby. And I'm just honored to be a part of it and be able to bring in all these great sponsors, as well as all the speakers who will be up on stage.
That's awesome. It sounds like such a wonderful event. For our listeners who may not be aware of what it is, can you share a little bit of what they could expect at the World Pickleball Conference?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going to share it with the biggest surprise that I had. Last year, we held it in Las Vegas, and we had all these people that from companies, of paddle manufacturers and all the franchises that are growing real quick right now, like the Dill Dinkers and the Pickler, and people from USA Pickleball coming in. And what really blew my mind is they didn't know each other. They Tito's comes in from Duper, doesn't know this guy here, and we were introduced. We became the biggest networking event of the executives leadership in pickleball, and it has just grown. So we're not on stage past 2 days last year, but the relationships kept growing and growing. We have business groups, masterminds, and in different ways that we all collaborate together. And this year, we're throwing something a little different in because there's 4 different governing bodies across the globe that are trying to get pickleball into the Olympics.
Oh.
The Olympics told them you have to be on the same page. We're putting them on the same stage so they can make their presentation. And the audience is pickleball executives plus entrepreneurs and investors who want to get into the industry of pickleball. So it's a really great professional level collaboration of those people. And at the same time, downstairs, we have 110 vendors in a trade show called the World Pickleball Conference. So, all these folks over here, Stay Cool as a Pickle, different brands, apparels. We have a fashion show, and Pickleheads is there with 8 tournaments.
Whoa.
Well, we interviewed the owners of Stay Cool as a Pickle, and we know that Sue is actually going to be playing in one of those tournaments.
Yeah, Sue Ludwig's going to play in one of the tournaments. The girls are a sponsor of our breakfast, our opening event. Stay Cool as a Pickle. They make this really cool shade, and if you haven't stood under that in the heat, it's amazing. We were down there at the U.S. Open in Naples, and they had that, and they're fantastic. And we all are getting together for one more event. There's 4 events in this one convention, and it's the Golden Pickle Business Awards. So we're honoring 11 different industry leaders. As a matter of fact, we have nominations are open up now. So the public gets to nominate people to be a part of that. So the convention, the conference, 8 tournaments run by Pickleheads, and then the Golden Pickle Business Awards.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's going to be amazing. I had to follow up. Who are the 4 organizations that are going to be on stage to talk about and giving kind of their presentation on being in the Olympics?
The 2 I'm familiar with are the Global Pickleball Federation. They work in alliance with USA Pickleball and the International Pickleball Federation. So they're both coming in. There's 2 other organizations, and I apologize. I don't have them memorized. One's from the Asian community, one's from the European community. And I'm not sure how they're going to handle the language barriers, but it's going to be interesting, and I know my team will figure that out.
It sounds super exciting, and I would wish so much that we could be there to kind of hear what's going on. Because in our intro, we were literally just talking about having pickleball at the Olympics, and we were kind of guessing on which countries we thought would make it pretty far in the contest. So I got to ask you if you could pick 3 countries that would be top 3 in the Olympics, because it's going to happen. Who would you pick?
At this point in time, I go with the United States, just because we're a hotbed over here. Number 2, I go with Peru, and
Oh,
I'm familiar with what they're doing down there and how they're playing. And number 3, I'm going with China.
All
okay.
right. Uncle
When you
also
have
gets
that many people, you got to have a chance.
That's what I was saying. That many people, plus they all play ping pong, they play badminton, right? They're playing racket sports already, and you just have a huge surplus of people that they can train up. But Peru was not on our radar. What do you know about Peru?
So I'm with Komodo Pickleball. I use their paddles and their
Yeah.
gear, and we went to the Komodo Open. And they're as a matter of fact, I got to give a shout out to Alejandro and his wife. They just had a baby this week. Congratulations, my man.
Congratulations,
And
Alejandro.
Yeah, congrats.
they had a international pickleball championship down there, and they were devastatingly good. I know Mexico did well, but pickleball, depending on how it shows up in the Olympics, if it shows up like tennis, then you only need 1 or 2 really good players to be way up there.
Right.
If it shows up as a team sport and it's collaborative, it could be different. But you're just going to pick these individual people, and if you look at the pro circuit now, those people are from all over the world. By the way, what countries did you guys pick?
Well, I picked Japan because I didn't want to copy Uncle. He said China, and England and Brazil. I should have
Bon
thrown
dia.
US in there, but I think I was thinking like external.
Fair enough.
And then I went India, China, and then like I said earlier, I went off the board and I went France.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Record that. We'll have to document that as it gets closer.
Exactly. That's what we were saying. So for the conference, are you anticipating an international attendance?
Oh, yeah. Just like we had last year, we'll have entrepreneurs and investors from all over the world come and be a part of what we're doing. Yeah, absolutely. International attendance for sure.
Awesome.
What do you think some of the other topics are going to be besides, Olympics is obviously going to be a main topic, but what other topics do you think are going to be discussed that are really hot right now in the world pickleball scene?
So our business really focuses on the business of pickleball. So that's our focus. So we'll have Carl Schmitz online on stage. He's the fellow who gives you the USA logo approval on your paddle. And we'll put him on stage with 3 paddle manufacturers to talk about the rating system and who's included, who's excluded. So that's a big topic. We'll have Dill Dinkers, Pickleball Kingdom, and a few other of the franchises talking about the growth of pickleball franchises and how that is serving the community, but also the business community. We'll also talk about professional pickleball and the ability for sponsorships and promotions, going from being just a player sport to a spectator sport. A lot of ways to service your sponsors are not being handled on the smaller level and the smaller tournaments well. So we're looking to create a system that they can have like a checklist and a little bit of a turnkey and boost up what they do for their sponsors. So those are some of the biggest topics. But on our website, World Pickleball Conference.com, we have a list of all the topics that are being considered. And on June 5th or 6th, I know that's coming up really fast, we're going to announce our whole agenda.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
wonderful. Yeah. That'll be interesting to see. So you've basically sold this conference to me and Uncle. I wish that we were able to go, but for our listeners who are probably also on the same page as us of wanting to be there, what's the best place for them to find more information and to purchase tickets?
Yeah, so real simply, it's worldpickleballconference.com. You can get everything in one spot, the conference, the convention, the Golden Pickle Business Awards. And even if you're not going, you can make nominations for your favorite businesses. By the way, we will be talking about podcasts as well.
Oh,
Absolutely.
are we eligible?
We're gonna have a reciprocal webcast with you guys right after this. And yes, absolutely. Want to make sure you're eligible. So everything is on worldpickleballconference.com.
Fantastic. And if we can nominate and vote for a business, we want to, put our support behind Denise and Will Richards at Dill Dinkers. They do a fantastic job.
Cool.
I think one of the top franchises out there.
Denise and Will are both taking our stage, one on Friday and one on Saturday.
Well, if people get a chance to listen to them, they really know their stuff. And I think they're just a real benefit for the game in the sport.
We agree. And those are the kind of people we want to surround ourselves with, people with a really rock solid business background that are applying it to pickleball, which is quite different than people who are excelling at playing pickleball and then trying to turn that into a business. So we want to help all those folks, and Will and Denise are certainly key people for that.
Well, I think you're just doing an amazing thing for the sport by, like you said, just facilitating these conversations and getting people talking about pickleball and working together and collaborating. Sometimes you just need that little nudge and that little push and that access to all the different people that are in the game and in the sport and in the business to kind of make the next level jump to kind of get your business out there and get it improved.
I'd love to talk on that. That word collaboration is so important for what we do. So we have a company called Rally Pickleball. They make a machine. It's a pickleball machine. It shoots the ball across so you can practice. It's so advanced with AI. It's got 20 different modes on the app on the phone. You can program it to practice whatever you want. The official ball of the World Pickleball Conference is the Komodo Bio Ball, the first biodegradable ball. So now Komodo's working with Rally to supply them with balls. And then if you look right underneath it, that's Pickleball Insurance Program. We don't think about pickleball insurance, but every franchisee of Will and Denise thinks about it because they need insurance for their facility. So they stepped up. They do all the insurance for all those franchises, and it's just becoming a wonderful family of collaborative business efforts.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
it really is. That's amazing.
Well, you know what time it is then?
Third shot clock.
It's time for that third shot to celebrate everything that you're doing at the World Pickleball Conference.
Yeah, cheers to
Thank
you,
you for
Adam.
everything that you do.
Cheers.
And let's have a third shot for you, for Carl.
Oh, Carl would appreciate that. We might have to hit a little bit more of this Captain Morgan in there.
There you go. Well, thank you, Adam.
We call him the Foss. Here you go, Foss.
Because
Foss.
I love
Foss.
it.
When we did our fantasy football show, he was the Foss and I was the Brick House. And all those names have gone away. They still surface every time we're doing a third shot.
Nice. What year did you do the fantasy football show?
So we were on radio in 2001, 2, and 3, and then we went 2004 and 2005. We went to television.
Well, congratulations on that too. I mean, I'm a big fantasy football player myself, so I'm going to have to pick your brain at some point on that.
Well, yep, I'm open for that. Yeah, my number now, and I just got my draft date. It's our 34th year.
Oh.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
You've had league for a while.
Yeah.
That is the name of my team. Wow.
Wow.
Well, thank you again, Adam, for coming on Third Shot. And thank you, listeners, for joining us on Third Shot, where Brigie and I would continue to share our pickleball journey. Real special thanks to Adam for coming on and sharing more information about the World Pickleball Conference. Please go to their website, which is worldpickleballconference.com, and learn more. There, you're going to find a list of all the speakers. You're going to see a list of the different vendors that are going to be there, different events. If you can make it out to Florida, I highly encourage, especially if you're in the business of pickleball, get yourself out there. It'll be super beneficial for you. And you can support this show by subscribing. And we promise to have more amazing guests, just like Adam, on future episodes of Third Shot. Let's continue to share our enjoyment for the game and grow this pickleball community together. See you next time on Third Shot Podcast.